Hi, in this video we're going to be doing a comparison between these two space heaters. So I've had both of these for about a year. This is the Kismile 1500 watt personal space heater, and this is the Amazon Basics 1500 watt personal space heater. Now I have used the Kismile significantly more than the Amazon Basics. That's not because I think it's a better heater, it's just coincidental. I have several space heaters and it just happened that the room I was in had this space heater in it, and I tended to use it more. So let's start with the Kismile since I'm holding it up. It's a much smaller space heater. It has a handle, which I prefer over the Amazon Basics one. So here's the handle for the Amazon Basics. And then the Kismile has a handle here, and you can also grab it like this. So I feel like I do like this feature for the Kismile space heater. It does have a safety switch on the bottom, which you see is kind of wobbly. So I think that might be broken, or it came like that, but it just feels kind of loose. It could be because, as I mentioned before, I use this one a lot more than the Amazon Basics one. What this does is, when it's on like this, and then when it knocks over, it gets depressed and it turns off. So it's like an automatic shut-off for the heater. Here's the automatic shut-off for the Amazon Basics. So it's not wobbly or anything. And again, I used it quite a bit, but just not as much as the Kismile. This one has a fan and two power options, and it has a dial here which you can turn up and down to raise and lower the heat. And this one has the same thing. I feel like the buttons are a little bit more clear on the Amazon Basics one, so a little bit easier to read than the Kismile one. You see the coloring and stuff, and that might not be a big deal, but to me sometimes it is. I live in a very dark home, so if I'm working and I'm trying to raise the heat or lower the heat, I want it to be easy, especially if it's not well lit. I want to know which way is up, which way is down, what's the medium power level, what's the high power level. So both have a fan option and both have 2 levels of heat, and they're both 1500 watts maximum. Let's go ahead and start with the Kismile. I'll go ahead and plug it in first, and let me make sure it's off. I'm going to plug it into the power outlet, and we'll listen to it run, we'll test the safety features, and we'll talk about how it actually feels. So currently it's off. Okay. There's the fan. It's got a slight rattle. It's just very slight. Very, very slight. Again, I've used this quite a bit. This is used. And you can raise it and lower it. And if you do that when you're in fan mode, it has no effect on the heat or the fan speed. The same is true for all space heaters I've looked at and all space heaters I own. It turns off when you go to minimum, which is weird because it's just a fan, there's no heat. Let's put it on 1. So 1 is like the medium power setting. I'm not sure how many watts 1 is. I don't have the instruction manuals for any of these anymore. It's getting warm now. It does have a little bit of rattle. Again, it's because it's not new. And there's 2. So again, it does have a little bit of rattle. Nice and warm, pretty nice. So again, the rattle could be from just lots of use. And if you tip it over, it turns off because of the safety switch. You see, if I push the safety switch in, it's on, off, on, off. Now, most heaters, both of these do, most heaters have a safety switch you can see. I once reviewed a heater, I don't remember the brand, it was at someone, I don't have it anymore, I don't remember where I had it, but I reviewed a heater a long time ago, and it didn't have, you couldn't see the safety switch. So it's good that you can see the safety switch on both of these. All right, let me go ahead and unplug it. Now let's go ahead and try the Amazon Basics personal heater. I'll plug it in. It's a lot bigger. I think it's a lot bigger than the other one there, Kismile. Let's turn it on. Louder, so it's bigger and it's louder. And again, when you turn down the strength in fan mode, it turns off, but it doesn't seem to affect the intensity of the fan. By the way, both of the fans are extremely weak. Do not buy these products for the fan. Buy them for the heat. There's the first level. Okay, it's getting warm, feels really, really good. It's actually cold in here, so this feels good. And then there's the second level, much colder, much warmer. Oh yeah, it's a nice heat. It's a nice heat. And if you tip it over, it does shut off. And again, it has that safety feature on, off, on, off. No rattle in this one, so this one doesn't rattle. So this one feels a little bit better. So I feel like this one's a little bit beefier than this one. This one has a nicer handle. I do like the buttons on the Amazon Basics one. So overall verdict, which one do I like better? I don't think I can decide. I like the handle better on the Kismile, right? It's a much, much nicer handle. This wobbly piece here, again, I don't want to say it's a fault of the product because I have used this one more than the Amazon Basics one. But the Amazon Basics one does feel beefier. I feel like this is a beefier personal heater than the Kismile. And I do like the display better on this one. So which one should you buy? It's going to be a tough choice. I bought both because I use both, and I think they're both great. Oh, as far as electrical usage, I did do an experiment last winter, and I found that having space heaters did reduce my electric bill versus using the heat in my home. So I think it's because you're aware when your space heater is on. Like if you're in the room, it's on. If you're not in the room, typically you turn it off. Also, just something I do, I think it's a good thing to do. Whenever you're not using these, unplug them. I always do that with all appliances, with air fryers, with toasters, with blenders. I always unplug my appliances when I'm not using them, especially with heaters. Don't leave them plugged in. Both work great. Again, the Kismile, 1500 watt space heater versus the Amazon Basics. I like them both, and I hope it's been helpful. Good luck.